So good afternoon again, class. I'll be lecturing today on marketing management in healthcare. My name is Dr. Faraon. I usually give the lectures on marketing for the whole HPAD 201 class, marketing management in healthcare. I hope you can see the slides. My internet connection is quite unstable. There will be parts where I'll probably be lost, or seems that my audio will be inaudible. But rest assured, the recording would be better. That the Zoom will convert it better than the connection that I have right now. So yun, nag-flash na naman yung unstable ko. Okay, so full screen, marketing management. Everybody can see the screen clearly?
Yes po.
Okay, so I will be lecturing on discuss what marketing is, its relevance for the various health delivery services, provide an overview of the basic marketing principles and concepts, and explain what social marketing is. So twofold po yung aking lecture. The whole marketing discipline, as you know, is actually a course. Meron pong ganung course, actually, marketing management sa mga kolehiyo. You can end up as a marketing professional. There is even a marketing association of the Philippines, just as there are international organizations like the American Marketing Association. And what I am going to do actually is just digest the very basic things about marketing, and try to get again the principles as applied to our profession. We are all in the health profession. So that is now where social marketing will enter, and some of its key principles, which are all based in the basic marketing, that can be applied when implementing the so-called social marketing strategies. Okay. So a disclaimer, again, you would be seeing brands and other multinational corporations. So I have no connections with them, local or international, mentioned in this session. The lecturer, I am also did not receive any monetary compensation, any form of gifts from these brands, again mentioned in this session. Stop and share uli, just making sure that the sound is shared. So you can still see the the slides now. Clear po ba? Okay. Sige. The basics po, marketing is actually an identification and meeting of human and social needs. So think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, from physiologic to something very aspirational in the apex. So isa lang po doon. Ano po ba yung need din? And again, ayan na naman po ako, medyo makulit. I will be telling you that the need specified is very, very specific. So it can be something tangible, something, a product, a cell phone. So specific yon. And you might use it for a lot of things, but yun lang siya. Hindi siya ibang bagay. And it can be food. It's very specific. And it can also be something very intangible like service. So service, as you know, we are in the service profession, could be seeing a patient, a consultation, a drawing of blood, a diagnosis, a writing of a prescription. Those are all services and other things. So for business sector, it is defined as meeting those needs profitably, meaning translating all those services, all those products into something that will bring in profit for your respective organizations. So selling is more of promotion. So hindi pa po siya yung marketing lang. Pag sinabi mong nagpo-promote ka, wala namang bumibili. So hindi pa rin yun effective marketing. So selling is only the tip of the marketing iceberg. Uh, the American Marketing Association defines it as an organizational function. So it's one of those things, pero hindi po siya mini-mention kasi if you remember our management lecture, or if you review the management lecture, there are just 4 principles of management, which is planning, organizing, controlling, and probably uh, leading, or sometimes the management gurus also include monitoring and evaluation. But actually, the Marketing Association of America says it's an organizational function, and it's a set of processes that creates. So if you still do not know it, sabihin ikaw hindi mo alam, you're the provider, and if you are the stakeholder on the other end, hindi mo rin alam, or it should be invented yet. So you could create that, and after having created it, you have to sustain it, and you have to deliver that value for customers, and managing the relationships in ways. Ito yung sinasabi kanina ni Ma'am Jonah na collaboration and engagement in ways that benefit isa lang po ang magbe-benefit, yung stakeholders for getting the value, and also the organization for the exchange that happens, the monetary exchange that they have gotten, while giving the value for the customers, whether it's a service or a product. So yan po ang definition ng American Marketing Association. So it's engaging customers and managing profitable customer relationships. Of course, it's different if you work in government. It might not be profitable. It might just be service-oriented, volume-wise, meaning to say the more customers you serve, the better it is. The twofold goal of marketing is to attract new customers by giving superior value, and to keep and grow current customers by sustaining value delivery and satisfaction. So examples are Facebook. As you know, Facebook po, the value it gives you is that it is free. It is free. Value po yun. Pag sinabing libre, malaking bagay na yun sa inyo. Nakakatulong po yun sa inyo. And it allows you to connect with your friends, with colleagues, with your teachers, and your workmates. Examples as measured by analytics, 2.32 billion monthly users in 2018, 2.45 nag-increase in 2019, and nag-increase further during the time of pandemic to 2.89. This is monthly po ha. The billions engagement is actually monthly. So for Facebook, that is the billion monthly users. So most popular social networks as of October 2021, based on this source, and a marketing source, is that Facebook po ang number 1, followed by YouTube and WhatsApp. I think WhatsApp is also owned by I don't know, Facebook. And there's also Instagram, and then the Facebook Messenger, of which people try to communicate. So this was 2021, when there still was also a lockdowns experienced by the pandemic. So again, I always give you the Coca-Cola example, and if you go nga to the website, it shows you parang iba yung dating, because it is actually more like promoting international health issue. So makikita mo sa taas, a world without waste. It is an ambitious sustainable packaging. So they are just actually telling you about their packaging. Who cares about their packaging? But they're trying their best. As you know, yung pong budget ng Coca-Cola for the advertising, if you heard our lecture last time, was $4 billion a year. So $4 billion a year. What does it get? that's actually just 10% of its total revenue, which is about $40+ billion also a year annually. And it is also trying to have message about the pandemic. Sabi nila, our coronavirus commitments and actions. Saan ka nakakita ng ganun? Ang tinitinda mo soft drinks, pero meron ka pa ring statement about something that is not in your scope of influence about coronavirus commitments and actions. So, meron pa siyang explore actions around the world. So, if you click on that, it will take you on what Coca-Cola is doing about the coronavirus. And it also has something about waste, which is it has this battle prototype made out of 100% plant-based sources. So it looks out also for climate change issues, which takes into account the sustainability of ensuring that you do not become a contributor to the warming of the planet. So meron po siyang ganoong waste goal and progress. Again, it's a clickable link on their website if you go there. So Coca-Cola is sold in all countries except two, which is North Korea and Cuba. And as of 2020, 49% of the global share of the carbonated beverage market, which is twice its competitor, Pepsi, says that taste the feeling. It provides a simple pleasure that makes everyday moments more special. So it tries to, again, bring something that is no longer related with its product. So ang kanyang tinitinda na is the experience. So when you go naman to its closest competitor, Pepsi, hindi naman nagpapahuli ang Pepsi because it also, like Coke, deals with international health problems like racial equality, journey, and of course, it also has the Black Initiative Progress. If you were in the news a few years ago, naging issue po yan with the killing of blacks and the issue on racism. So they deal with the issues and topics which are beyond the soda. So, and they even have the Terra Carta seal in recognition, again, and much like Coke, a sustainable future, which is related again to climate change. So today, marketing must be understood not in the old sense of making a sale. So if you just understand marketing as yung kadaldalan or an advertisement in the newspaper, in Facebook, it is actually in the sense of satisfying whatever customer needs. So sabi ni Ma'am Jonah kanina, there is already the presence of all the laws, universal healthcare, andyan naman yung mga services, pero parang passive daw yung mga customers. So baka naman wala nito, hindi nagagawa po ito naka-highlight sa yellow. Satisfying customer needs. How do you satisfy customer needs? Again, needs are personally defined. So but of course, we have general needs. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, sa Maslow, physiologic, general needs include your house, shelter, clothing, food, the air that you breathe, the water that you drink, and the food that you eat. So those are basic. So in any of those fields, just one, hindi po kailangan lahat, just one, you could already enter. But you could also enter, if you have so much money for investment, you could enter also into a combination to, again, satisfy customer needs and create value. Yung value po kailangan dinidefine sa perspective ng inyong buyer. So hindi dapat ikaw. You can help discover it for them. That's why you do a marketing study. What probably are the things that are needed, what is valuable for them, then you can go there. If you're in a desert, most valuable thing is water. So that is what will create the best value. So you have to go into the water business. So parang ganun po. Ganun po yung ibig sabihin on how marketing works. So if the marketer engages consumers effectively, understands their needs. Very ano po yan very, very detailed kung ano po yung needs na yon. Develops the products that provide superior customer value. Masaya po yung customer, in short. Hindi po siya naiinis. Hindi po siya frustrated. And prices, ibig sabihin, tama po yung price. Alam nyo ba, sensitive tayo sa price. We would like a durable product for the least price. We would like something that works, that we do not need to replace every time, and distributes and promotes them well. These products and services will sell easily. So sabi ni Drucker, management guru, the aim of marketing, remember that, the aim of marketing is to make selling unnecessary. So the very best way of marketing strategically is actually just to put your service and product there. And people will already see the value, especially if you have already established your trusted branding. So hindi nasisira yung reputasyon mo before. Pwede namang masira, of course, challenged by several environmental stressors, but you could easily spring back, easily pick up the pieces, and go back, much like what we had in the example of Starbucks and Coca-Cola. Okay, and the marketing process based on a book by, of course, the considered the father of marketing, Professor Kotler, in his Principles of Marketing textbooks in 2020. It begins usually, ito sa first square, understanding the marketplace. So your marketplace could be the usual marketplace, or it could be, in our case, the health sector. What is happening in the health sector? Understand there what is the customer need and what is the customer want. Do not answer big words, again, with a non-specific meaning. So dapat po very specific pag magbigay kayo ng example. Whether it's something in the, sasabihin mo, health system block. Alam mo naman, ang laki-laki nun. Health system block, there are 6 building blocks. Alin din doon? Bawat isang building block, ang laki-laki din doon. So you have to be very, very specific po when you try to begin to apply marketing principles to the health sector. So understand the marketplace, what are the customer needs and wants. Then design a customer-driven strategy. Bakit po hindi tinawag na design a provider-driven? Kasi it has nothing to do with you. It has always something to do with the customer. So it has to be customer-driven. And then construct an integrated marketing program that delivers superior value. Ano na yon? Yun, sinabi na integrated. So ito naman yung unang report kanina ni Ma'am Ida. Sabi niya, binago raw yung ingredients ng Starbucks at saka binago raw yung ingredients ng Coke in order to address the current challenges. So yun po yung integrated. You now integrate with other sections, departments, units of your organization. So that's in the cooking department probably, the ones who are in charge of doing and adjusting the taste, adjusting the formula, the recipe, whatever it is. So integration po yan. Again, you can make the same analogy to the health sector. And then build profitable. They just say profitable here because this is mainly in the business sector. But for our purposes nga po in the health sector, it might not be profitable, but it should be service-oriented. And of course, to create customer delight. And to sustain, kasi kailangan mo po, hindi isang gabi, it's not just one day that you would create happiness and then wala na. Anak ko, hindi po pwede. The marketing process is about creating, capturing, and sustaining customer value. So you capture value from the customers, and that captured value from customer will in turn create the profits and the customer equity that is needed. So the important figure here says that by creating value for customers, you as a marketer, if you're the assigned marketer, you must capture that value from customers. So dapat alam mo po kung ano yon. Usually, it is obtained through marketing studies. So it's an investigative study, a research, could be a research study, or a feasibility study, if you would like to call it that way, to see how much of a product or service is needed that you can now develop, integrate, and build profitable relationship henceforth. So ganun po yan, if you try to understand it. And if you create and sustain value, you cannot, sabi ko nga, you cannot create, you cannot even sustain it if you do not know what it is. So dapat po alam nyo. Again, makulit na, short of being makulit, go into the details. Details of what the people really want. If they say they are averse to vaccines, may dahilan po yun. There is a reason for that. They are not just doing it there. There might be somebody influencing them stronger than your promotions are. So your promotions are only found in Facebook and in the TV, which can all be turned off. Madali pong i-off yung, di ba, i-turn off mo lang yung phone, i-turn off mo yung TV, na off po yun. Pero yung kasama nyo po sa bahay, hindi nyo po na i-turn off yun. If that is your best friend, if that is your mother, if that is your sibling, it is always, that person is always with you, telling you things, influencing you. So you cannot create and sustain if you do not identify where it is coming from. And value always comes from and is defined from the perspectives of your customers and patients. Again, Marketing Myopia, a classic article published in the Harvard Business Review, said that ang gist po nitong article na to by Professor Levitt was that if your organization is short-sighted and inward-looking, you will just do marketing the simple way. It will focus, you should focus not only on the fulfillment of the immediate needs of the company, but on the marketing from the consumer's point of view. And that is the only way you can sustain the value that you are looking for. And value must always, as I've said, evaluated from the perspective of the customers. What is Coke's secret? From our video clip, it is perpetually training the brain of everybody to associate the soda with feelings of happiness, having good memories, friendship, positive thoughts. Di po ba nung nag-birthday kayo, nung ilang taon na kayo, or the biggest celebration with your mom and dad, or with your lola and lolo, those things that made you happy, whether it was with your ate or kuya, or with your new family now, there was always Coke there. So, yun po yung kinakapitalize niya. That is the value that Coke sees in its product. At yun po ay talagang ini-exploit niya. $4 billion a year. Yan po ang binubuhos niyang pera dyan worldwide to capitalize on that. So, constantly, walang tigil. And it's even increased during Christmas time. So, sasabihin niya, Christmas na, so magkikita-kita tayo, baka pa, babalik uli yung good memories mo. It always capitalizes on that. O, bili ka na ng Coke. O, ayun na yung catch. So, there is always that thing that you can buy happiness in a can or in a bottle of Coke. So, constant po yung kanyang atake. It is training perpetually your brain to associate the soda with happiness. And that's why it spends, as I've said, $40 billion globally yearly. And then there's other products like Dyson, if you're familiar with that. Are you familiar with Dyson po? Do you know that it is an electric fan? Familiar po ba kayo dyan? I can still be heard. Are you familiar po with Dyson?
Yes po.
It is without blades. So it's very safe for your kids who are always curious to see why the electric pan is like that. They always also place their faces there. You can place your face with and poke it all you want without having the fear to have your fingers cut or hurt. So it is also convertible po for it can give you both hot and cool air. And I think the recent innovation here is it also has air purification properties. So it was invented by Professor Dison in the UK. So what is being marketed out there? Ito po, lahat po ng nakikita nyo sa slides. So even people and places. So you're probably already familiar with tourism. So even places are marketed. Properties, when you sell lots, condominiums, house and lot. Organizations, yung mga pinakitang organizations kanina ni Dr. Um, uh, kanina ni Dr. Dayan, if you have seen that. So those are organizations that are also there. And there is also information. So yung ating mga nakikitang mga facts and figures and several things on the marketing association or marketing firm, marketing agency, they sell this information to businessmen so that they can build nga po and discover the value that they're looking for when they're trying to create a new product or a new service. So experiences, ideas. So pag tinanong po what is being marketed, all of these are being marketed. And customer needs, human needs are states of felt deprivation. What people, so as I've said, it is the physiologic need in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Then there are also social needs for belonging and affection. This is a part where your Facebook excels. So if you don't have any friends, how many friends do you have? As well as other social media applications in which you show pictures of yourselves in blogging where others comment and like your posts. So that is actually another value. Imagine this is a need and a value at the same time. So individual needs for knowledge and self-expression. And examples could also be related to culture, like your German consumer needs food but really wants a sauerkraut, sausage and beer. So German consumers po are like that. So pag sinabi mong food ang iyong gustong i-focus, detailed na yon, pero baka pwede pa pong himayin at maggawing mas detailed. Like culturally, a German would prepare sauerkraut, sausage and beer. Americans, it's usually a burger, fries, and a soft drink. And then iba po sa isang taga Papua New Guinea, it will need he or she will need food but kailangan may taro, may rice, yams and pork. And like us naman in the Philippines, we cannot eat without rice, and that is for better or for worse part of our culture. And that is why rice is a staple importation because it cannot meet the needs of all Filipinos who want them. But can we live without rice? Yes. Kaya nga lang po, it's tied up with your want. Ayun na naman, again, value. So try to look at those things, what those things are. That actually different nationalities have different wants. And what wants naman on the other, so wants po are different from needs. Needs are you cannot live without them. So what you can live without them. So wants are form of human needs that are shaped by culture and individual personality. So it could also be shaped by one society and are described in terms of objects that will satisfy needs. So when backed by power, wants can also become demands. And this is also the purpose of marketing, yung po itong principles of marketing and probable strategies which you could leverage when you're trying to apply it to the health sector. So when you talk of product, or siguro scratch mo yan, kasi nga sinasabi ko wala naman tayong product, service, then think of functionality, think of brand. Brand is your past tense or your present tense. past tense and present tense in the sense that this is the reputation by which you are known. And then how is your product or service package? Again, you can ascribe packaging in the figurative sense in ano bang itsura? How do you deliver your service? And then yun nga, services. And then price. Do you offer discounts? Do you offer bundle offers? And nagpapautang ka ba? So, credit terms. And then promotion-wise, do you advertise? Do you have a salesperson? Do you have sales personnel? Do you have celebrity endorsers? Do you have sales promotion? Nagpo-promo ka? And then place, saan mo po inilalagay? Nilalagay mo po ba sa school, sa market, sa mall? Where do you place this? What are your distribution channels? And how are your logistics? So remember this, ito po yung basic. Sabi ni Dr. Dayande, it could go as far as 7, depending on what textbook you're reading. But basically po, as far as Doc Emer is concerned, they're just 4 P's. Because classically, this is also how Professor Kotler, the founder, the father of marketing management, describe it. So product, price, promotion, and place. Again, it coincides po for product in the product or service life cycle. So it begins with an idea. There's an idea stage, there's a concept stage, there is a product development stage, a test marketing stage, and the part where you already try to market it, which in that particular phase already enters the product or service cycle, in which there is also introduction, growth, maturity, and a potential decline. As much as possible, you would like to sustain your phase in the growth and maturity phases for as long as you can, because you do not want to deteriorate and decline. Sometimes it also declines, like your iPod. Familiar po ba kayo sa iPod with an O? iPod. In the iPod, you would see that there is in the iPod, they have tried to discontinue it. I think Apple has tried to discontinue it for lack already of probable support. So there are many reasons why you would discontinue a service or a product, but usually those reasons would be beneficial for the organization trying to address its own new objectives in trying to maintain and make itself relevant to the existing market. So the next is price. So this is the pricing strategy mix, which is actually comparison at a table between quality and price. And so, of course, you know that the quality-wise, there is usually high or low quality. And then for price, there is usually high price or low price. And there are the 4 categories because of those combinations. So if you have a high quality product, which is high price, that is usually a superior quality. So I'm sure you could think of several brands or several products or services that you could ascribe. And if you have a low quality product pero high price, brand usually ang tinitingnan doon. The trust that people are still buying that in spite of its low quality. Now, if it's economical, it's usually low quality. So the examples that I can think of is actually CDR King. So it's not of quality, but it is also not too highly priced. And then value for money, usually high quality, but low price. Sometimes there's also subsidies done by the government involved, local or national, in trying to produce value for money products and services for the people and constituencies it have. Now, for promotion, there are many types po of promotion. So, meron po tayong ganito na matrix. So, please pay attention on the type of promotion. So, the common platforms cover advertising, sales promotion, events, experiences, public relations and publicity, in which you probably hire a celebrity endorser, personal selling, yung pong door-to-door, yung hindi think of Avon and all those things, may medications na may personal selling, and then direct marketing, which is also that related also to same thing as personal selling but slightly different. Direct marketing, yung kung familiar kayo sa TV shopping. So the examples are actually beneath each column if you would like. So you could actually, ito po yung hinihingi ko sa sanang details. If you could go to details, you could go to details as good as that. So print and broadcast ads, anong klase, and you can think of that and apply it there. And then place, saan po ba yan? Saan po ba nanggagaling? So of course, baka distributor ka lang naman, hindi ka naman ikaw yung manufacturer. Or are you also the manufacturer or the inventor of your product? So it usually goes from you to a distributor, to a retailer before you give it to the customer. And understand that in each stage, there could be a so-called difference in price. Tawag po naman doon ay transfer pricing. So every time you transfer, may tubo, may commission. So the integration is usually based on the principles also of mergers and acquisitions. So when the manufacturer acquires a wholesaler, that's called a forward integration. When a wholesaler acquires the manufacturer, that's a backward integration. But if the retailer buys over another retailer, that's a parallel integration. So just remember this when you consider the place in the 4Ps. And when you do a market opportunity analysis, you must answer some questions like, can the benefits involved in the opportunity be articulated convincingly to a defined target market? Can the target market be located? So, saan ba sila? And reach. Paano kung GIDA pa siya? And reach with cost-effective media and trade channels. So, you have to actually tweak sa 4Ps mo yung promotion. Meron mag-direct marketing ka or direct selling. And does the company, your company, have access to the critical capabilities needed to deliver the customer benefits? Can your organization deliver the benefits better than any other competitor? Usually, you have private competitors kung nasa government ka. Will the financial rate of return meet or exceed the company's threshold for investment? If you're working in government, you need not worry about this because you have you are just asked to do this. Assured na yung sweldo mo kasi you are attached to a government and part of you is just doing this as a service component of the bigger program of which your health intervention rests on. So, ganun dapat. So, branding, ito po yung mga trusted brands in 2020. These are the 100 most valuable brands worldwide. If you can see, the number one there is Amazon, valued at 221 billion, followed carefully by I think number 2 is Google at 160, and number 3 141 billion ang Apple. So this is for the North America. For Europe, iba rin doon, and for Asia, iba rin yung ating mixture of brands. Most of the brands here are banks and cell phones. Mostly banks, I think I see, and of course transport vehicles like Mitsubishi, Toyota, and Honda. For North America, it's mostly something that has to do with international internet connection. So less yung banks at saka yung transportations. I don't see Ford here. Walang gano silang ganon na transport. In Europe, of course, ano rin yan, kotse din yan. So malalaki yung brands ng Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and so you know this brands, I'm sure. So whether it deals with automobiles, retail, and banking industry, the value based on the circle. So the smallest circle here is about $10 billion. Largest circle is about $200 billion. So they are branding is actually what other people, according to Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, the biggest there, what other people say when you are not there. So ano ba yung reputasyon mo? What people talk about when you are not in the room, when you are not listening. So what does so tanungin ko si Dr. Dayan, what do people talk about family planning when when the Department of Health is not listening? Anong OB po kayo, ma'am, Dr. Dayan?
Apo, sir.
So what do your patients talk about when you are not in the room? What do people talk about when you're not in the room? What does your patient say about you when you're not there? So yun po yung branding, yun yung reputation. So pag sinabi nila ang bait-bait ni doktora, keeps on caring, yun po yung brand ninyo. You're known for that. You will not know that You will usually hear that from another person. And that is what I mean with branding. It is what people talk about when you are not around. And this is usually true. So the traditional definition by the American Marketing Association is, baka alam nyo kasi sa branding is yung logo, yung design, yung term, yung symbol. But this is usually just for recognition. So you identify a service for that. But modern definition is actually the promise that you made to your customer, whether intangibly because it was a service, intangible kasi service, or it could be because it's really a product, like your cell phone, or like your your favorite brand of loaf bread. Ano ba ang favorite brand ng loaf bread ninyo? Is it your Pan de Manila or is it your Gardenia? So I'm talking about those things. Just those are names. So yun yung traditional definition. But which tastes good? Kayo ba, ano ba ang pine-prepare yung loaf of bread? Quick marketing survey. Ano ang best brand niyo for bread?
Sa akin po, sir, yung delicious bread.
Ayun. Bakit po? Is it white po ba or is it a special kind of bread? Pandasal po ba yun or loaf bread?
Ano po yun, sir? Loaf bread po. Parang Japanese bread po siya. Pero okay na rin po yung gardenia.
Okay. So yun po, may mga ina-ascribe po tayo doon. Is it soft? Is it the taste? Is it, ako kasi I'm not a fan of hard breads. But that is actually a bestseller in other parts of the world. Mas matigas yung bread, mas gusto nila. In Russia, gusto po nila matitigas ang bread. In Europe, other parts of Europe, yun po yun. So magtataka ka bakit ang titigas ng mga tinapay doon. Pampukpok talaga po sa ulo. But modern definition po is it is actually what is your reputation. So yun po yung short of it. So let us watch a short video on what branding is as given to another company. Sana po marinig nyo to.
After years of dominating the technology market, Apple has become synonymous with the words brilliant, creative, and innovative. Apple is one of the greatest marketers of all time, with the iPhone becoming arguably the most popular and recognizable smartphone in the world. Apple's consistent marketing excellence is built on a series of core values, which others would benefit from learning from and applying to themselves. Apple has mastered the art of being ahead of its competitors. One of the primary reasons why they're able to be leaders in the industry rather than a follower is their amazing ability to innovate and keep things fresh. With every release, there is always some new technological advancement that strives to push the industry forward. Whether it's a new chipset allowing their products to be more powerful, or the wireless AirPods that have become ubiquitous around the world. Apple's dedication to the customer experience and their ecosystem of products is the key reason why people flock to Apple stores and line up for hours just to get their hands on the new release. The importance of a first impression cannot be underestimated. Much like in person, the fact is that you make a judgment about something in approximately 4 seconds, and this is finalized largely within 30 seconds of initial contact. Apple knows this, ensuring that they master the art of minimalism. Product aesthetics, user interfaces, the brand logo, support functions, and even advertising are stripped down to the fundamentals. Apple's obsession with minimalism isn't solely about aesthetics. Rather, it's a crucial piece of their overall business strategy within the Apple ecosystem. Every component of this minimalist network is designed with related components in mind. The Apple TV interface isn't too different from that of Apple Music, whilst Apple Music itself borrows from the basic feel of Apple's operating system. Meanwhile, the gadgets also take up the same sort of family feel. The iMac, MacBook Pro, iPad, and iPhone, they're all radically different devices, but they're immediately recognizable as cousins, thanks to their shared detailing and material palette. This highly integrated, minimal aesthetic is priming you to enjoy Apple's other products, ensuring that when the new iPad is released, you already know how it works and that it will fit within your own personal home environment. When Apple brought out their first iPod back in 2001, the response from the press was apathetic. MP3 players were already around, and this new release was nothing new. In fact, most MP3 players were actually better than the first iPod. They had larger storage space, replaceable batteries, and they were cheaper. So, what did Apple's new iPod have to offer that other MP3 players didn't? The iPod looked cool. It had a sleek aluminium shell half the size of its competitors, and a scroll wheel that could zoom through the trademark 1,000 songs in your pocket. This easy-to-use, sleek iPod made the entire process from downloading your favorite song to the listening experience a simple and enjoyable experience. Apple has a legendary focus on customer experience. Every customer touchpoint, from the products through the user experience, and even the retail store, yields a consistent Apple experience. This clean, seamless, just works mantra ensures that every layer of the ecosystem works straight out the box, providing a logical experience that makes the user's life easier and more enjoyable. Apple's consumer base buys into their ecosystem, expecting a high-quality, polished experience from start to finish. When pairing this high-quality experience with Apple's aggressive expansion into every facet of our lives, it's no surprise that their products, apps, and technology have become an integral part of our modern lives and routine. Apple's approach to the harmonious integration of external developers, manufacturers, and services with their own catalog of products creates a thriving mesh of technology, creating a sort of ubiquitous computer all around us all the time. A key example of Apple's integration outside of their traditional devices is their integration seamlessly into the fitness industry. Wearables have become far more than a fashion accessory in recent years, with their ability to play your favorite high-energy playlist whilst also collecting valuable biometric data for those who are serious about their progress and development. This now vital bit of kit can play an essential role in your daily life, and is often the difference between lounging on the couch and finishing that 10K. When a piece of gear has this much influence on your life and routine, you'll be sure to place a lot of trust and belief in the product, further solidifying Apple into your daily life. Much like Louis Vuitton or Chanel, Apple is associated with high-quality, luxurious, and trendy products. To ensure that they maintain this image, Apple carries out a range of marketing practices to ensure that they look like the premium luxury company they claim to be. This brand identity is reflected in the pricing strategy of Apple, with all products undergoing fixed pricing. Due to Apple's unique market position and their ability to market their products through other channels, they can avoid dropping prices, a process that ensures they maintain that luxury goods appearance. This strategy also extends to the microcosm of Apple retailers, dealers, and resellers, where Apple implements a minimum advertised price. This sets a lower limit on the prices its resellers may advertise Apple's products, keeping prices relatively comparable to their own stores and with minimal wholesale discounts. This maintains the static high prices that Apple sets, distancing themselves from low-cost, inferior products. As we mentioned in our video talking about Tesla's marketing successes, having a small community of evangelists that support your brand through thick and thin is a vital step for brand longevity. They will support you during your hiccups and will push you through the other side. This group won't dare stray away from the Apple ecosystem, ensuring full integration and making sure that their friends and family are aware of its benefits. Marketing through word of mouth is a priceless marketing strategy for any business, and is hands down the most effective and reliable type of marketing. According to the Wharton School of Business, a customer you acquire from word of mouth has 16 to 25% higher lifetime value than those you acquire from other sources. Word of mouth will bring in loyal customers and increase customer retention rate. What's more, this highly valuable marketing strategy has no price attached. It's a side effect of the "it just works" high-quality product that Apple strives for. Competing in today's world can be tough. Being able to establish any kind of advantage can set you up for success over the competition. However, having a dedicated group that ensures your product is talked about in a good light, is shared on social media, and welcomes itself into everyone's life goes far beyond paying for adverts or product placement. Apple has continuously strived to create great products with a great experience attached to them. This dedication to the customer has paid off huge dividends, making Apple one of the biggest companies in the world. Apple is not just changing an industry, it's changing the world, reshaping it into a customer-focused economy and planting itself right in the middle of it.
So yun po ang ang marketing which you could probably leverage. See, word of mouth is mentioned several times. It builds actually better disciples and loyal customers. So dapat po, and it rests also greatly on trust on your past performances, whether it's a service or a product. Boss, I'll be shifting now to social marketing in healthcare. So yun po is basic pa rin, 4 Ps. We will apply it to social marketing in healthcare. Again, I'm leveraging this from Kotler's book, Social Marketing, latest edition, of which was published in, I think, 2021. Ito po yung book na yun. This actually came from a very old article as well in July 1971, in which Professor Cutler with Zoltman asked what is social marketing. So they were asking, why can't you sell brotherhood like you sell soap? Diba? Soap is easy to sell because people need it when taking a bath or probably cleaning themselves, washing hands. But why can't you sell brotherhood? Brotherhood is pakikipagkapwa-tao. So they were trying to see how they could translate the same principle po into selling like soap. So they have introduced the term social marketing in 1971 to describe the use of marketing principles and techniques to advance a social cause, an idea, or a behavior. So we have to change behaviors po, a lot of behaviors, bad behaviors at that, in our interventions, some of our interventions in public health. And this is often a social and psychological process. It takes time. It is not overnight. And it is actually very, very difficult, especially in traditional rural societies. Ako, ang aking dream is actually to reverse our attachment to rice which has been actually made in several studies, establish a culprit for our diabetes, which is also rising, by the way. So just spreading rational information, which, as you know, this example po, yung vaccine does not cause, etc., etc., does not cause, this is effective, this has been shown by studies. So just spreading rational information is not enough to be effective. So Kotler and Lee explain the concept as similar to the commercial sector, marketers whose objective is to sell goods, and social marketers' objectives is usually to change and influence behaviors. Accordingly, one typically wants to influence target audiences to do one of four things. So please remember these four things that you have to do. In social marketing, there are four objectives. On the left, you can see the four P's. Nakikita nyo po yung product, price, place, and promotion. In social marketing po, there are four objectives. Accept a new behavior, reject a potentially undesirable behavior, modify the current behavior, abandon an old undesirable behavior. Sometimes it could be a combination of one and two and three, and probably 2 and 4. So whether it is about I don't know, abstaining from harmful yung illegal drugs, so that is actually rejecting a potential a desirable behavior. Modify your current behavior. You like lechon, but you are hyperlipidemic, so you have to modify your current behavior. Marami pong behaviors na harmful, but in applying social marketing as an objective, it could be any of these four. So please remember po these four objectives in social marketing. And it is usually about four things: influencing behavior change, utilizing a systematic planning process that applies the 4 P's and techniques, and focusing on a priority audience. Ito na po yung segmenting. Ipina-prioritize natin ang audience. Kung ang tinitingnan mo lang, halimbawa, sa iyong vaccination rates, pinakamababa po senior citizens, ang priority audience mo po ay yung mga senior citizens. Ang parents, ayaw na nilang dalhin yung mga pediatric patients na magpa-booster. Pero ano na sila, kontento na sila halimbawa with the first and second doses. Ano po yun? Yun po yung priority audience nyo na segment na tinatawag. And then, delivering, lastly, the positive benefit for individuals and society. Whether it's trying to convince the public to stop smoking, so stopping smoking is just one of the more common examples, and encouraging men in developing countries to use condoms, the focus is always on the public good first. So this is a combination of what we learned also in public health ethics about public good. Maximization po yan. So the concept of societal marketing, therefore, revolves around driving change to local, national, and international communities in creative ways. So kailangan enticing po, masarap pakinggan, hindi po siya pangit, and kuhaga agad yung message. What is your message? Ano ba yung behavior? Is it adapting a new behavior? It's dispelling an old behavior? Is it creating or disposing an undesirable behavior? So social marketing should not be confused with other similar terms na maririnig po ninyo, like social media marketing. Ako, iba po yun. Green or sustainable marketing, iba po yun. And commercial marketing with a social focus, iba rin po yun. So iba po yung social marketing. And strategies, according to the ISM, the Institute for Social Marketing, the ultimate objective is to influence action and change behavior. And action is undertaken whenever the target audiences believe that the benefits they receive will be greater than the cost that they will incur. The programs to influence action will be more effective if they are based on a thorough understanding of the audience's perception. So you must understand what is the perception currently. Again, do not talk in general, broad terms. Explain. Sinabi mo ayaw niyang magpabakuna. Bakit? So please do the 5 whys. Bakit ayaw magpabakuna? Masakit. Bakit masakit? Sagutin mo yun. Sasabihin, because there is an additive in the vaccine that causes that. Bakit? Again, please provide an answer. And until you come up with a specific root cause that can be addressed so that you can give a solution to improve your social marketing campaign. So target audiences are seldom uniform in their perceptions. So you should be actually dividing them into segments. Yun nga po yung sinabi ko, it could be pediatric targeting, it could be senior citizen targeting. Depende po kung sino yung inyong tinatarget with your particular health issue example. So strategies, marketing efforts must incorporate your 4 Ps, create an enticing product or service, minimize the price, kung pwede po, libre na, and then make the exchange available in places, mall, market, schools, universities, kung saan po nandun yung mga tao, where they are, and promote the exchange opportunity with creativity through channels that maximize the desired response. Of course, the desired response is always happiness. The recommended behaviors always have competition. Lagi po tayong may competition. Usually, the bad competition, as expressed earlier with family planning, was probably the church and family members. So you have to understand that competition and how you can counteract that. The marketplace is continually changing. Program effects must be regularly monitored. And the management prepared to alter the strategies midway. So you're doing your social marketing intervention now. Can you change it midway while you're doing it? Yes. So that your tactics are rapidly adapted to the current situation. Examples, a mass media campaign to promote oral rehydration in the Honduras to decrease diarrhea in under 5. Other ones would be Ugandan midwives selling contraceptives at affordable prices. So these are examples po of social marketing adverts ng mga one-pager. Are you familiar with this po? Can you see this very clearly? Nakikita niyo po ba ito? Ano ang message po dito? Nandiyan pa po ba kayo dahil iniwan nyo na ako? Are you still there? What is the message here?
Parang na-block lang po, sir, yung from 1988 at nawala na.
So this is about being born and then having died. Now, naka-block po yung having died because this is actually a seat belt. It's actually a message po that if you wear your seat belt, then you prevent having your death year already published there, already written in an epitaph. So it's actually buckle up and stay alive. This is a health information drive, social marketing din po. So you're changing a behavior from not wearing seatbelt to wearing one. So yung po, creative po yung paggagawa. So it's black because of course it's lonely to have your epitaph written, but it actually gives you the message that if you buckle up like this, so changing a behavior from not buckling up when you're driving or whether you're the passenger, you stay alive longer. Therefore, we need not write your death year. Nakuha po ba ito ng lahat? Nakuha niyo po ba yung message? And can you see the creativity applied? That is how it is. And this one is another one about air pollution. So this one is in the form of a gun. Of course, it's seen and actually attached to again, this is I think from Canada. Canada kasi is very progressive when it comes to social marketing advertisements. And this one, would you know what's the message here naman? This is from the American Disability Association. So this is a picture of a subway. And do you know who is the target audience here?
handicapped PWD.
Opo, PWDs who are probably in their wheelchairs. So I think this is a message also for the local government unit to build an accessible, conveyance for, I think, disabled persons to bring them up. So ganun po yung pag-iisip sana ninyo. Medyo advanced ng konti, medyo creative ng konti on how you see these things so that you can apply it into your respective problems. And of course, for men from London, from the National Health Service in the UK, smoking damages the tissues in your penis. So there are about 4,000 chemicals. So do you still want this is not actually for first-hand smokers. This is actually for second-hand smokers. So if you want to inhale, it will actually damage your, and of course, for both first-hand and second-hand smokers. So this one is sariling atin. Used to be pasted in when Mindanao and the Visayas experienced more typhoons. So this was pasted in evacuation centers wherein the the newborns needed breastfeeding milk. Usually kasi there's a competition for milk formulas. But between a milk formula, and I guess Dr. Diane knows this, milk formula and breastfeeding, nothing beats breastfeeding. So it is in Tagalog. So there is a woman there, a mother giving breastfeeding to her kid. But then all is in Tagalog, so madaling maintindihan. Gatas ng ina, ang pinakamabuti para sa iyong baby. So mahalaga lalo na sa panahon ng kalamidad. So, and then this is for, again, your favorite soda. You wouldn't eat 22 packs of sugar because, one glass of soda has 22 packs of sugar. Yung maliliit po yung nakikita sa restaurant. So why are you drinking them? So drinking even one sugary drink a day leads actually to obesity and diabetes. And then this is about, driving and tailgating. So do not actually tailgate trucks because it's dangerous when they do abrupt stops. So again, that's a very clear message. Observe po sana ma-observe niyo po yung creativity applied to each. And this one is found in toilets. Again, I think this is in Cape Town in South Africa. Too much cutting of trees. So when you save paper, you actually save the planet. Again, creativity expressed in terms of a mini silhouette from green. Green kasi yung kulay ng tissue. So as you finish it off, you actually are harming the planet. I'm sure you're familiar with this, the BIDA solution, with your yung hesitancy to have, the problem then in 2020 was having your second dose. So B is for bawal ang walang mask, i-sanitize ang mga kamay, dumistansya ng isang metro, and alamin ang totoong informasyon. So social marketing, very briefly, is just understanding in detail. Again na naman, makulit talaga si Doc Emer. Detail the demand side of the equation, which is your customers, which are your patients. So understanding what they want, what they mean by value. So it borrows from the concepts of the 4 Ps and strategies of effective marketing management. Add to it the motivate, support, and possibly create positive, healthy behaviors. It is guided by ethical principles. It is also, it allows you to have a strategy modification to become as inclusive as possible. And when you focus on behavior change, you only focus on one of the 4 things. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, you accept a new behavior. Yan, ang example, composting food waste. Reject a potentially undesirable behavior, like you will become a new smoker. Modify a current behavior. Increasing physical activity from 3 to 5 days a week. Ate ngayon wala ka pa, hindi ka maka 1 day. Or decrease the fat that you consume daily. or abandon an old undesirable behavior, like you always text when you drive. So this is again an example coming from the latest edition of social marketing. So 5 key concepts for your social marketing. You must specify your behavioral goals. Ano yung isa lang po, isa lang. And then think of the benefit to the persons concerned. What is the insight there? What would be the benefits? Then segment. Ilang taon po ba yung inyong social marketing intervention? And then all your interventions should be not only strategic but evidence-based. So very fast na lang po itong health marketing social strategies. You must define the issue. You must know in detail what needs to be done to improve the situation in detail and what will happen if nothing is done. So dapat pong alam mo yun. Know your audience. Sino po itong audience? Talaga pong i-profile nyo. What motivates them? What are their experiences? What are their needs? What barriers do they face regarding the behavior you are trying to influence? Do a situational analysis. So para pong PESTEL, if you're going to HPAD 202, you should know the political, the social, the cultural, the personal, and the physical things in which the customer is always, habiting and working and probably spending his or her leisure life. And consult and work with others. Network, collaborate. Who would you need as a support agency, as a support group? Will it be your local government? Will it be a private agency, a private organization? And then choose a specific target. So we have a acronym, a mnemonic. What is the total number of people that can be targeted? What is the proportion of people at risk? And who can be most likely persuaded? Can that segment be accessed? Magkakaroon ka ba ng problema? What resources on your end would be needed? And has there been a consideration of equity to ensure that all are included? Your persons with disability, your senior citizens, any minority person. And this is an example of the TARPARE already applied. So yun na po ito yung detail na na-breakdown. So may age group po dyan, may gender, may location, at sino-sino po yung as guided by the TARPARE method you might want to target. So talaga pong na-profile, males living in urban areas, 25 to 34, active less than 150 minute per week ang exercise, concerned about their health, and motivated to be more physically active. And similarly with females. And then specify your behavioral goals based on that, kung ano yung gusto nyong mangyaring intervention. And do your, choose your media channel. Is it going to be Facebook? Is it going to be print media? Is it going to be something like a campaign? May maglilibot doon sa inyong area. House-to-house campaign po ba? Ano ba gusto ninyong mangyari? And then, develop strategic messages. Something that's very creative. Para po ba yung mga pinakita ko sa inyo kaninang pictures? Kailangan po may mga ganun, strategic messages. And other strategies would be to plan on how to monitor and evaluate. How is it working based on your objective? Prepare an action plan, create materials, do feedback, deliver again, and monitor again for a need-to basis to see how effective you are improving from your baseline to what you really want as a final objective. So ito po yung example ng isang concise action plan. This one was picked from the Centers for Disease Control on a possible target behavior on what you could probably do to approach it, and what would be the exchanges and concern, where will the competition be coming from. So example template lang po ito on how to do a concise social marketing action plan. So I think that ends my lecture. The references are here if you would like to avail. Everything is available po in Amazon, but I actually have digested it for you. Marketing management, and of course the two marketing management gurus. So thank you for your attention. Thank you for listening. I hope you would be able to answer questions or have an idea of what marketing management is as applied to the health sector. Questions po at this point?